Welcome to Quantum Signal Lab. You see someone's life online. A second passes, and suddenly, your own life feels smaller. You didn't choose that feeling, but it happened anyway. Nietzsche had a name for it, and he said it was the most dangerous force in human psychology. Not because it's rare, but because it's invisible, and it's been running your life. Every time it fires, your signal shifts away from creating toward measuring. Most people experience comparison as a feeling. Nietzsche saw it as a system. He called it ressentiment, the psychology of those who define themselves not by who they are, but by who they are not. When you see someone succeed and feel diminished, that's not jealousy. That's a signal that you've handed them your ruler. You're measuring yourself with a measurement you didn't choose. Nietzsche described two ways of living. The first, you create your own values. You define your own success. You move forward. The second, you react. You watch others. You compare. You feel behind. And the comparison becomes a kind of poison, slow enough that you don't notice it working. He believed people who lived this way were no longer creating their own values. They were reacting to someone else's. The dangerous part? Most of us don't know we've borrowed them. We're going to move through this slowly. There's no rush here. Each question is an invitation, not a test. Let yourself stay with what comes up. Whose standards are you actually measuring yourself against? Not the person you consciously admire, but the deeper one, the one whose life makes you feel behind. Nietzsche would ask, did you choose that standard, or did it choose you? When did you first decide you weren't enough? Most of us can't name the moment, because it wasn't a moment. It was a slow accumulation of comparisons, glances, comments, silences. Someone else's life held up as a mirror you didn't ask for. What would you build if nobody was watching? Not what you'd post, not what you'd be praised for, what you would actually create. Nietzsche believed that every person has something only they can bring into the world, but most never find it because they're too busy trying to match what already exists. The person you compare yourself to, are they living your life? Their path was built for them, not for you. Following it doesn't bring you closer to success. It takes you further from yourself. What if comparison was never about them? What if every time you looked at someone else's life and felt that sting, it was just your unlived potential trying to get your attention? Not telling you that you're falling behind, telling you that you have something to create. Then, perhaps, the invitation is simple. Not to become someone else, but to return to yourself. I release the standard I borrowed from others. I stop measuring. I start creating. I return to my own path. I become who I am. Nietzsche didn't ask you to be fearless. He asked you to become who you are, not who they are, not who they want you to be. You don't have to answer everything tonight, but perhaps one question is enough. Whose life have you been measuring yourself against? Sit with that. That's the signal. Tune in. Reset your signal.